Hello, hello, welcome back to episode 6 of Gilgamesh playing the Talos Principle 2. Last time we found out how to deal with the Sphinx statues. Like after... well, actually no, the first one that we solved in this area actually was pretty obvious, like it showed a picture. Can even show you, right? This one here showed a picture and, like picturing exactly where we need to go. There was a switch there. So we went back to the previous area where we only had this hint of 2478. Which, yeah. And then we tried a few stuff with the different puzzles and then with a... while starting to read a hint from the internet, I was like, oh wait, there's numbers in front of every single puzzle, right? For example, like puzzle number 1 that we are going over here in this area because we haven't done any puzzles yet in this area. And lo and behold, right behind those plaquettes, these ones, now I know to check behind, right? Haha. Were switches, and we just had to activate the right ones, so yeah. And now we're back to the usual puzzling. 8 more puzzles to go in this area. 2 more lost puzzles, and of course I think there was a Pandora statue, right, with a green laser switch in front of it. And yeah, and then we're gonna have the 3 areas in the east completed, so hopefully we can go back to the town, to the city afterwards, right? So let's find all of that out. Go, go, go. Okay, puzzle number 1. What are we in for? Inversion. Ooh. Inversion. I mean, it's probably gonna invert the red one into a blue one. Oh, interesting. I wonder if they're gonna keep introducing new opponents here in every single area. I mean, that would be interesting, but then again, like... I don't know how interesting these components really are so far. I mean, this is basically this. I mean, this is literally just a connector that just switches the color of the laser, right? Also, it's an inverter. So what happens when we connect it with a green laser? I wonder. I'm also wondering, like, do we have puzzles where all of these components are used in the end? That would be convoluted and complex, right? But I mean, okay, sure, we're gonna see, right? Yeah, it's pretty obvious to me, like that we're gonna swap it twice, I guess. Obviously, I'm a dum-dum because I needed to get out the second inverter over here first, and then we can do connect this with blue over there. Connect this with this one to get a red one again, and we're done. It's interesting that it only works seemingly. It seemingly only works with a red and blue, right? I wonder if it's just never gonna have a green laser.
About New Alexandria all the time, but realizing this place was built on its bones just brings it all back even more. We were so optimistic when we started. So full of ourselves.
You mean back in the day?
We could accomplish anything. And then, in one single moment...
New Alexandria, I guess.
It was all gone. I remember a flash, and then just lying there, realizing that my legs had melted.
Oh, wow.
I tried to pull myself away from the fire, but the servos in my arms were broken.
Yeah, that's an issue.
If Eustathius hadn't found me. Sorry. Just some old scars.
Interesting. So he was there in New Alexandria, right? What exactly happened again? I think we read that at some point, right? I'm not sure if they tried a different power source than hydroelectric, than a hydroelectric dam, right? Hydroelectricity through a dam, and that blew up, or if it was a dam that actually... I mean, if a dam breaks, it wouldn't cause a fire, right? That would... Sounds kind of counterintuitive. Yeah, I already forgot what exactly happened to New Excelendria, but of course we have this gotta have it down somewhere, right? Well, probably. We could probably read it. Oh, there, New Alexandria. Let's see if it's this one. Oh yeah, Eustathius was the one that was trying to build it, right? Or one of them. Oh yeah, he was trying to build a thermal power station. It would take advantage of a local gas reservoir. Okay, and the calculations basically were wrong because of outdated data, right? Then boom. Okay. Alright, more puzzles. Come on, go, go, go. Yeah. I can't... I really hope they're not gonna have, you know, like a new component. Because... I mean, so far we only had the RGB converter in the first area, we had the drill in the second area, and now the inverter in the third area. But they were never combined so far, right? So I feel like they're not gonna introduce like 9 additional components in the rest... in the other 9 areas, right? They're probably just gonna use the previous ones and combine them and stuff like that. At least I hope so. It would be kind of weird to have, you know, new components in every area, which is nice and fine, I guess. But then not reusing them, because with every single area they have to have tutorial puzzles, like the one that we just had. It just introduces the function of the new component, right? So it would seem that the puzzles wouldn't really get more difficult with each area, which they should, I would argue. What do we need? Do we need a connector, or do we need the inverter? I would say... Oh, yeah, we can do this. Open it, then use the connector over there. Hello? Oh, okay. Didn't realize it was blinking, actually. To keep this open, pick up the inverter, and there we go. La 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 la. Alright. Wait a second. I already found one of these holograms last time, and suddenly Miranda started talking, right? Cat sitting advice. Pellegrino! Isn't it the name of the water I'm drinking? Saint Pellegrino? Yeah, Pellegrino, I think. So I'm cat sitting Yakut's cat, Bruce, and he keeps peeing on my charging pod. Is there anything I can do to prevent this? At all. Clean it very thoroughly so not a single trace of smell remains. Yeah, true. I know it's hard without the ability to smell, but we do have some cleaning agents that should do the trick. Contact me in private if you need a list. Yeah, because of course cats keep peeing at the same place. And even if you can't smell it, they can still smell where they peed before. It's actually really annoying, because I used to have, well, I used to have a cat, another cat, a different cat. My other cat that I used to have didn't like to, you know, like use her litter box when it was, well, a little dirty, I would say. And then, actually even when it was clean, whenever I would have a rock around, which is why I don't really have any rocks, I actually like to pee on the rocks. Right? Then even if you put them in the washing machine, and I even had to use, like, I think at some point I used like a special cat pee odor removal cleaning detergent, whatever, and that still really didn't really do trick that well. So yeah, I just knew I could never put any rocks anywhere, which also means that, you know, like whenever I step out of my shower, I'm stepping on the cold tiles, cold ceramic tiles, because I cannot put a rock in front of my shower, because my old cat used to pee on those. Because yeah, once they do it, they can just keep smelling it. Even though if you wash that, if you throw it in a washing machine, they keep smelling it and they're gonna keep peeing at whatever they peed on before. I tell Owen, make sure Bruce isn't distressed by something. Cats don't like being moved from their territory. Maybe it would be easier if you just moved him back to Yakut's place and fed him there. Yakut. No, Bruce is just a bastard. He loves peeing on anything electrical, chewing on cables, and generally just breaking stuff. This is normal. And I warned you, Pellegrino. I could have given him to Neve. She's used to him. Pellegrino. Oh, he's so fussy, and but he's so fussy, and I love him. I tell him, cats. The dichotomy of cats, right? Yeah. Alright, Miranda.
When we go to New Jerusalem, I'm going to have a cat.
Oh, okay.
He's going to be black and white, and his name is going to be Bean. And I'm going to make sure that he never gets sick,
Oh.
and he never gets old, and he'll be my best friend forever.
Well, I guess you need to make a robot cat then. I mean, we already have the V2 humans, so why not having V2 cats, I guess, right? Wouldn't that make sense? That's where we've just been. I'm getting turned around. Did I run past that? I did run past that, right? I didn't realize it was there, really? Oh, interesting. Alright, number 3! Here we go, here we come. And this is gonna be... I need to remember that whenever we find a green laser, I need to connect it to one of those connectors, right? This one seems like the one that we'll be using. Is this number 3? It is, so make sure to hook it up to the laser over there so that we can use it for the Pandora box puzzle, right? There and back again. Yeah, there is a green switch here. There and back again by Bilbo Baggins, right? Oh, there is an RGB converter. Never mind. My theory of them not using... same components again in other puzzles, different puzzles. No! Come on. There we go. Alright, now the blue. Oh wait, that's not what we need, do we? Oh no, it is what we need. There is a... do we need a red one over there? Yeah, we do have line of sight. Alright, to get this RGB converter, and now we need to combine blue and... Right, where was the green one? I guess it was back in the beginning area. Over here. Okay, that's why we need the green. So we can't just hook up... Wait, that's actually really easy, isn't it? We just do this. There we go. Well, okay. That wasn't difficult.
Good job, 1K.
Thank you, thank you. Now, where was that rock? Up there, I think, right? There we go. That's gonna work. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that, and then once we get back to the Pandora statue, we're gonna Maybe we're still gonna have to connect the box switch to the end of the laser relay route, right? We're gonna have to do that inside of a puzzle there as well. Alright, number 4. Refraction. Isn't like the refractory period, like the time you need to rest before you can go again. So many inverters here. But we do need the blue over here, right? I guess we can. Do we have a line of sight? No, we don't. Oh, we have a red over here, I see. We can use this one to open the gate over here by turning this red into blue again. And now we don't need... Wait, like this. Yeah, now we don't need this one anymore, right? At least not at this point, but we can move it. I like to move it onto the other side over here. So that it is visible from inside here. And then we just use this one. Ta-da! Oh, we're blasting through those today. New interface content available. Places of Longing, Paris. Okay, we can build new Paris. Oh, that's a beautiful picture. Did you paint it on your own? Paris by Atlavok. Paris was an ancient city, sometimes called the City of Light, one of the great capitals of the world, home to tradition and innovation alike. It was the birthplace of one of the greatest revolutions in history, the moment that gave birth to modernity in all its glories and horrors alike. The spirit of freedom that was born here, although it was suppressed by enemies and traitors, never entirely faded, and it lived on in the minds of artists of many generations. Maybe something of that spirit still remains in us. I mean, sure, it's human nature. It's not like French's nature or Paris's nature, it's human nature that, like, humans want to be free. Or at least have the illusion to be free. And be master over their own destiny, right? Up. Alright, onwards. So this is the point where usually there should be like a lost puzzle, right? I was kind of wondering last time when we did the puzzle with the Sphinx here, like why it is inside this little maze here. But I guess it is just decoration. Not like there would be like a lost puzzle here somewhere. Now the question is, where is the lost puzzle then? Well, maybe over here. Interesting. There's a way sign right next to this junction here. But it doesn't show what's going in like the left path. It must be a lost puzzle then, right? That's kind of obvious. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Transposition. Alright, we have a jammer, ooh, a drill. Connector. Oh, this is intricate. Do we have a line of sight here? No. But we do have one with together with the connector in there, right? I guess this is the finish. Oh, I need to jam this first, I see. I can get the connector here. Never mind. Now I can get to a connector here. To do this, I guess. Then I can jam the gate over there. And once this is done. It's gonna be kept open by the switch that is activated. Now we can get the drill. Like this. And I guess then we can use connector here. Do we have a line of sight? Maybe. Oh, come on. It's really weird. It sucks you through these portals when you get too close. Oh no, not even while holding something. Just if you get too close. It's kind of annoying, I have to say. There we go. Oh wait, we have to. Ah, activate both sides. What do we need a drill for then? To get the connector through? We can get the connector through here. But then we don't have the red active over here. Do we need to switch them? Oh, I think we can. Yeah, I think we can take the connector. Yeah, to activate the blue there. And then through there we have this line of sight to for the inverter on the other side, right? Okay, so we need to move the inverter to this side and the connector to the other side. This is why we need to drill. Then we do this and this. And from this side we take the inverter, hook it up to the connector and the switch, and now we need to jam the force filter, and we're good. Gucci. Yay.
I sent the drone to have a look at one of the other puzzle clusters. It seems they remain inert until they're connected. I uploaded the pictures to the log.
Should we check them out with the VTOL?
Let's conserve
That's a
fuel
VTOL.
as much as we can. There's no point
Or
in
the
going
chopper.
there if it's all dead.
Yeah, so I'm still assuming that once we're actually done with all three eastern parts, of which this is the last area, right? That we're probably gonna be able to go back to the city, New Jerusalem. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, right. Oh. Oh yeah, I was. Yeah, right. And then we could fly somewhere else. And I was theorizing last time that we would get to a snowy area, right? Because there were mountains in the north of the megastructure. I sent a drone to have a look to another puzzle cluster, but it seems they remain inactive until someone gets there, or until the transport system goes online. All right, number 5. Thank you. Beautiful little plaquette showing us the way. There's so many of those statues. Like there's those statues in every single puzzle area. But what are they for? Wasn't explained yet, you know, like the others are obvious. It's Pandora, the Sphinx, and Prometheus, right? But what about those? Numero 5. Imprisoned. Why does it look like it would be connected to a different side? But it doesn't actually do something when you turn it off. Oh no, it does. Never mind, it does turn the other one off. Okay. So what do we have a laser? Oh, we do have a laser over here. Right, but how do I get it? Oh, I guess I have to do this and then go out and turn it off. That's why it's imprisoned, right? Ah, that makes sense. So this will open up this red emitter, and we do need the red emitter. And to activate the blue over there. But we cannot cross streams. I mean, we can do this, I guess. Right? But the problem is, as soon as we switch this, this will open, and then this laser will cancel itself out with this one. So that won't work. I mean, if we do this now, it will work at first, but as soon as the switch over there activates, it's gonna close again, yeah. But what else could we be doing? There's not a whole lot that we could be doing, right? What we might do... It makes sense though, right? This hooking... I was thinking about hooking this up to the red emitter as well. Then it just wouldn't do anything, right? Actually, what does happen then? Like if we have conflicting sources of laser sources. I'm not even sure. I think it just deactivates, right? Because it has conflicting sources. I cannot just like put like the, what's it called, inverter in the way of the laser, because obviously then it just won't open anyways, right? I cannot activate the switch from here, can I? No. Ah. This looked very simple at first glance. Well, turns out it isn't, or at least it doesn't feel like it isn't now. It would be easy if I could stay inside, you know? If I could just, once this is open, I could just... Oh, I can do this. And then we open the gate here. And now we can close it again, and it will remain open over there. Haha. Okay. There we go. Alright. Wasn't that hot after all, right? That was number 5 already? Wow, we're blasting. Not even half an hour in. But then again, obviously I'm not really exploring a lot right now. I really don't know what, you know, like what about... I mean, as far as I understand it, the only thing we can find by exploring, if there is not a Prometheus statue, is, well, Prometheus box, which as far as I understand it just lets us skip... Is this the right way? Just lets us skip puzzles, which I don't want to do. And junk, which gives us a little flavor text about human history. As far as I'm concerned right now, the junk doesn't really seem to do anything. Like, it doesn't... Well, it might be a collectible and it doesn't unlock anything as it seems, right? I don't think. So I'm not really keen on finding them, you know, like, I'm not keen on spending more hours than I have to. Just running around in woods and stuff, trying to find some junk. Alright, number 6. Hidden. What do we have here? Inverter, connector, many purple gates. I feel like Road to Gehenna knows the base game didn't have nearly as many double gates inside there. Inside their puzzles, right? Might be wrong. I mean, we can do this. Obviously. And what does it do for us, exactly? I mean, we need to get both of these over here, right? So we can put it on the pressure plates. So the goal is to get the connector through here. How do we get it through here? Through the gate over there, right? Wait, no? What? How? Through that gate? Wait, is there something... Is there another component somewhere that I can't see right now? I don't think there is, right? Oh wait, through this gate. Yeah, but we can't keep this gate open right now. We could, if we could reposition the inverter over here so that it connects to the switch using that emitter there while it is open, right? Why do we need to get all the way over here for that then? Maybe we do that first. What exactly happens if you do this? Oh, interesting, you can keep that open with a blue and a red. Do we have a line of sight here? Kinda. I guess we wanna take this over here then and connect it with the blue there. Obviously, no. What's... Oh, that's number 6, I see. I was like, what's glowing over there? Why do we even need this gate? I am so confused right now, I have to admit. What? I mean, now I can connect this to the emitter there, right? And then we don't need this one anymore here. Alright, now we keep this gate open. No need of this one being here. So now we can do what exactly? Can position it over here now. Keeping it open. I think then we can do what I said in the beginning, right? We can take this to keep this gate open by connecting it with both the connector and the emitter. Yeah, okay. I see, and now I can get it through. Okay. Yeah, this was a bit convoluted to get my head around. But also not too difficult in the end, right? Yay! That's already number 6 done. Wow. Are we doing a whole area in one episode this time? Oh. The Garden, new poem. Amish. I walk in the garden without fear as stars swirl across the sky, and I stand amongst the tall lilies who lift their faces to the passing eons. Here I will do no harm, and no harm will come to me. For at last my long journey is over, and I am at home. They called didn't they call like Elohim's garden the garden, right? So isn't that like a bad thing? The mistress, beautiful, makes me feel calm and happy. Ovis, this is my new favorite of yours, I think. Although maybe step by step towards the nightingales might still win out. Let's say it's time. This is so much Road to Gehenna. I love it. You can really see how they implemented, you know, like the feeling and what they did with Gehenna into their new society here. Funny. Orinia, the words are definitely beautiful, but to me it seems like a poem about death. Sure, could be. That's the beauty about art, right? All the different interpretations people can pull from it. I don't think our journey is over. Maybe it will never be over. Orinia, that's my greatest dream. That all this is just a momentary stop. A place where we rest for a little while before we go on to new adventures. Hey, look, mate. My screen is angled a little differently today than usual. Which also makes the angle on the camera a little different, obviously, but well. Oh well. Amish, interesting. I always thought of humanity's journey as long and exhausting in search for a home. Byron, home is very important, but we are wanderers, Amish. We need new horizons, and the more we travel, the more we perceive our homes with new eyes, and find more to love. Libistros, wow, a response from Byron himself. Amish, thank you for the thoughts, everyone. I really appreciate them. Alright, onwards to number 7. Oh yeah, that Pandora's box over there. Could probably laser it from here, right? But we don't have a green laser in this one. Hello, Melville.
Did something break?
No. Tell me about New Alexandria. I think New Alexandria broke, right? New Alexandria.
A mess. It was an attempt to start a new city, but it went about as sideways as it goes. Gas explosion, more than 30 dead, unrecoverable. Al was there for the whole thing.
Yeah, that's so. But why would so much tech from New Alexandria be here?
Because the whole place was abandoned. Byron insisted that we had to rebuild, but for the survivors, it was just too traumatic to deal with. So I guess that stuff was just lying around for someone to pick up.
Makes sense. That is all. That is all she wrote. But like, why didn't you try and like build another city again? Like, mistakes and failures and errors are there to learn from, right? Not like you couldn't learn from that. Like by maybe adjusting your calculations, updating your calculations, or maybe even use a different form of power like you do in New Jerusalem. That looks like it could be a lab, right? That is a lab, yeah.
Every site we've investigated has had one of these labs.
Yeah, it's kind of curious.
Primitive compared to some
Yeah,
of the
I also thought that.
we're seeing above ground.
Are we
It's very
even
interesting.
Sure that the labs and the puzzles belong to the same people?
There seems
Well,
to be
no.
a connection between the experimental setups in the labs and some of the puzzle technology.
Correlation does not necessarily imply causation, though.
True. But just because we don't understand the connection, that doesn't mean it's not there. What we have here is two things that reflect each other. We just don't understand how that reflection works or what causes it.
Maybe Miranda can tell us.
That would be nice. I mean, this looks so much like V1 humans, right? Everything else looks so much V2 humans. So maybe all of this was already built by V1 humans. And then whoever found it, of the V2 humans from New Alexandria, just perfected it and then used it. The End Draft. After a lifetime dedicated to the written word, I am faced with a task I could never have expected, writing an epitaph to not only for myself, but for my species. In the unlikely event that Alexander Drennan is successful, and one day someone reads this, what meaningful insights can I share into this strange phenomenon that is humanity? I've spent days thinking about it, but now I'm running out of time. So I'll set down the one thought that I simply cannot shake. It didn't have to be this way. Oh. With more time, we could have found a cure. With a few political victories, we could have been prepared. Change any factor, even by a little, and we would have made it. This isn't divine punishment, it's just dumb luck. 1 second. Immortality. That's what the hex code says. I'm reaching for something here, but I don't know what it is. Forgiveness? Grace? Acceptance? No. I hate the idea of accepting this. Hope? Maybe. I feel like the story is unfinished. Maybe it should be. No epitaphs for humanity. I pray Drennan is right. Miranda! It didn't have to be this way. Failed to load profile. And yet it was. Failed to load profile. Failed to load comment. Huh. Sharon. From 51 Tales by Lord Dunsany. Sharon leaned forward and wrote. All things were one with his wariness. It was not with him a matter of years or of centuries, but of wide floods of time, and an old heaviness and the pain in the arms that had become for him part of the scheme that the gods had made, and was of a piece with eternity. If the gods had even sent him a contrary wind, it would have divided all times in his memory into 2 equal slabs. So grey were all things always where he was, that if any radiance lingered a moment among the dead, on the face of such a queen, perhaps as Cleopatra, his eyes could not have perceived it. It was strange that the dead nowadays were coming in such numbers. They were coming in thousands, where they used to come in 50s. It was neither Charon's duty nor his wont to ponder in his grey soul why these things might be. Charon leaned forward and wrote. Who's Charon? I need to look that up. Then no one came for a while. It was not usual for the gods to send no one down. Or is Charon like the ferryman? I mean, it references Cleopatra, so it's probably like Egyptian or Roman mythology, right? I think Roman mythology had something like a ferryman, right? Maybe Egyptian. I'm not that well versed in Egyptian mythology. They have like a ferryman that, you know, like, because isn't that a Greek thing? And also a much more modern thing, like a Renaissance thing. I thought like I think for the Greek it was like the river Styx, right? Where they had a ferryman like rowing the souls over the river Styx so that they wouldn't get lost in the underworld. And that's what it sounds here, like there's so many dead and he has to row them over the river. And no one came for a while. It was not usual for the gods to send no one down from Earth to such a space, but the gods knew best. Then one man came alone. And the little shade sat shivering on a lonely bench and the great boat pushed off. Only one passenger. Gods know best. And great and wary Charon rode on and on besides the little silent shivering ghost. Charon like a giant or something like that? And the sound of the river was a mighty sigh. And the sound of the river was like a mighty sigh that grief in the beginning had sighed among her sisters, and that could not die like the echoes of human sorrow, failing on earthly hills, but was as old as time and the pain in Charon's arms. Then the boat from the slow grey river loomed up to the coast of these, and the little silent shade still shivering stepped ashore, and Charon turned the boat to go verily back to the world. Then the little shadow spoke that had been a man. I am the last, he said. No one had ever made Charon smile before. No one before had ever made him weep. Ooh, smile before he does it because he doesn't have to row anymore, and weep before because, you know, like they're all gone. Miranda, there is an obvious and perhaps intended interpretation that this is the end of humanity and the last shadow is the last human to live. But, well, to have lived, I guess. But another interpretation is equally possible, that humanity has achieved immortality. Ah, true, and the last shadow is the last human to die. I prefer the latter. I don't know. Immortality is not something that we should give into the hands of humanity, I don't think. Charon. It is Greek, the Greek ferryman. Okay, Greek ferryman to the underworld. Why are they talking about Cleopatra then? Oh well, I guess the Egyptian High Dynasty was before the Greek, right? So why wouldn't they know it actually? Yeah, sure. Okay, Greek ferryman into the underworld, yeah. And Roman as well. Interesting. Save yourself a penny for the ferryman. Yeah, because they needed a coin. What if they didn't have a coin? Interesting. They would like lie the coin below the tongue of the dead, right? So that they can pay ferryman. If they didn't have a coin, he would not let you pass, and the dead spirits would have to remain at the shores of the river as shadows for centuries until he would ferry them over. Interesting. Alright. Noema project. Oh yeah, we had that before. God. Why did I already close my hex converter? Trial! Same problem as with trial 108. Repeated all calculations. This mortal must put on immortality. That's what the hex code says. Interesting. Same result. Weird. Huh. So you're telling me like Prometheus and the Sphinx and Pandora here are... Oh, is all of this about the immortality? Are they like the results of, you know, like the V2s or some of the V2s, like some of the maybe even the founder, right? And the first companions to reach immortality. And again, don't they have that already? I mean, as long as they can, you know, like repair themselves, they're immortal, right? It's not like they would die of old age because their brain shuts down. They just replace the parts in their brains, right? Or even, I would think so, at least. And then the fire they were talking of that shouldn't be given into the hands of man would be immortality then, right? Is this what this is about? You know, like the Talos Principle 1 was more about what's the difference between a human and a machine? If they are, you know, like if they have the same consciousness, if they have the same intelligence, if they have the same mind, are they really that different just because one is made out of artificial metal and stuff and the other one is biological, right? Of which I clearly say no. Like if you have a machine that thinks like a human and well, not even thinks like a human, they don't have to think like a human, but it has a consciousness and a free will like a human does. And be specific there because humans not necessarily have free will, right? I mean, there is a theory that free will is actually an illusion and everything that we do is predetermined anyways because of the way that we are built, because of the way I mean, me as Gilgamesh, something inside me is gonna decide what decision I am gonna lean towards whenever I get to a choice that I have to make, right? Is it truly free will of me choose A or B if it is determined by, you know, like my experiences and stuff anyways? Funnily enough, if you consider that, then the only way to actually exercise free will would be to make it random, right? Like for every decision in your life, basically roll a die. Which is interesting, because then you could argue, was it really your free will that made you roll the die, right? Instead of deciding on your own. And because I just wanted to say, because then it was your free will to hand your fate over to, you know, like randomness, right? But as I said before, was that one decision? That would have been a decision. That's because you cannot make that decision by just well, you could make the decision by rolling a die. Complicated. But yeah, that was what Talos Principle 1 was about, right? Talos Principle 2. Seems it's kind of established already, you know, that this is how we're going. Like the V2 machine humans are not different than the V1 biological humans. It's already established, and therefore they basically have a new philosophical topic, which might be immortality, right? As it seems like now. But I'm still confused because in my mind, the V2 humans are immortal, right? As long as they can repair themselves or replace parts of themselves. So maybe that's what it is about, you know, like that's why Pandora, the Sphinx, and Prometheus don't have a body anymore, right? They're basically just energy. Do they not have a body anymore? I mean, that energy has to be stored. So, well, we're just gonna assume it's about immortality. Monitors on the side. Oh, interesting. Are we gonna have gravity puzzles in the next one? Next area? Interesting. Get me out of here. Why did Yakut not yet say that he repaired the path to the next one? Because we did find the lab, right? Well, it's probably gonna... Oh, I guess we'll have to... I'm not sure if we had to solve enough puzzles for the portal to be active before the transportation events became active for the next one, right? Number 7, that's the next one, right? Hello. Melville is yellow, right. Backward propagation. Alright. Two inverters. I guess I need to stand on that then. If we pick that up, we have a blue over here. Do not have a line of sight to that switch over there. And now we have a red. Just realized there's a switch over there as well, right? Just want to say, I guess we can pick up the inverter and put it over there, but obviously we can't. But what we can do is activate red there. Then we cannot get over here, right? Oh, wait a second. We can activate this one from here. This one will be blue. Wait, we do have a line of sight of this. Wow, how didn't I realize that? No, because we don't have a line of sight from over here. Okay, we need this to keep this open. Yes. They have a red here. Red sends blue. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And to activate this, we need to use this one to shoot a blue laser to the inverter there. And then we step on the pressure plate and wait for the switch to activate. And now I can put the inverter back on the pressure plate because this keeps itself open here, right? Now. Oh, now we do the same thing. Now we activate... Alright, connect those 3. Step on a pressure plate, and there we go. Oh, that was easier than the last one.
I'm impressed.
Thank you. We're making quick work of this today. Number 8 and the second lost puzzle remaining. Right, and the Pandora's box puzzle. That was Pandora's box? Don't think we... Oh, over there. This looks like a convenient line of sight. You have a connector in here. Yep, we do. I like that, like all the force fields and stuff are deactivated. Once you've solved the puzzle. I think that wasn't the case in Talos Principle 1 and Route to Gehenna, right? That was kind of annoying, I have to say, you know, like whenever you wanted to change something. And every time you reset, all of the area reset, right? Wait, what? Huh? Why isn't it working? Did I do something? I mean, this should work. Did I do something wrong with the... at the beginning? Well... let's just do the other 2 puzzles first. Then do the loop, complete the loop around so we can go back to the start of the... of the laser relay. Because that seems also to be out of whack over there, right? I like how beautiful this area is. It's called the wetlands, but it's not really that wet, right? There's just a lot of trees and fauna around. Flora, not fauna. I like that. Alright, number 8. Really? Now I'd activate it anyways? Weird. Maybe it's a bug, I don't know. Yeah, but there it is.
False idols are worshipped not because they are idols, but because they are false. True idols are rejected because the truth is feared.
Wait, why do I only have 3? Oh, yeah, I only have 3 stars because I deposited them in the stars machine, right? It's 6 overall. I was kind of confused because it said 3 stars, and I was like, wait, didn't I? I already should have 6, right? So yeah, but of course, last time we went back to the main area around the Megastructure and released our 3 stars that we had at that point. Oh, that's yet a last puzzle. Into the stars container, whatever you want to call it, right? Reconnected. Alright, let's take this over here, obviously. Craw. Okay. Can I connect you with anything while you're standing on this? Because it doesn't look like it. I guess what we can do is open that gate, but it doesn't do anything for me because I cannot get there. And what does it do for me when I drill a hole there? Because I cannot... I'm stupid, I can just take the drill out of here and put the drill on the pressure plate. And then we have the inverter on the other side. Which doesn't really do anything for me right now, I would say. Because I cannot get it over here. Which is what I thought about doing, like, you know, connecting it with the laser emitter there. But I have to open this gate first. Actually, why is that even closed? Alright, so... How do we hook you up to the emitter over there? What the heck? I mean, through this would be logical. That's what we're doing. Sure. And then we go back and pick up the drill again and drill the hole again. And because we activate the switch from this side, this opens up. Okay, that makes sense. Now, what is this? Interesting. Now we need to be able to move the drill again, right? For some reason. So how do we hook up? This through there, I guess. And connect it with what exactly? This is gonna give us a blue beam. Guess we can connect it with this. Right. Yeah, that would work. Not even sure what we need this switch for. This just opens this gate. Okay, that was opened by switch, I see. Now I cannot get back though. Oh yeah, now I can pick up this and make it all over there. There we go. I could even put it on the pressure plate if I wanted to. Then I wouldn't even need the switch here, right? Alright, now we can use this for unlocking this. Oh, well, we're done already. Okay. For some reason I thought there would be more to this. Alright, one more. And then we do have indeed completed the whole area. Including a Pandora statue in one episode. Wow, interesting. But I guess it's less to talk about, less dialogue. That helps a lot. Usually takes a lot of time to talk through these, right? Alright, positional interchange. This is a normal connector here, right? That I cannot pick up right now. But I can connect it with the laser emitter over there so that I can activate the switch. I think I should be able to put it on top of the... That's funny. Cannot keep it up right now, which is what we do need for it to connect to this switch over there as well, right? I think that's the goal here. Wait, I can just put it here. And now I have a second inverter here that we could put onto that box if we wanted to. Do we need to? Oh, ugh, sucked me through that portal again. I mean, we could now interchange this connector with this inverter, right? This emits a red laser now, so... Wait, can we... Oh, we can even connect it with the one over there. Yeah, I think that's it. Alright, because now we put this onto the... hexahedron, with the with the blue laser connected. Well, not connected, with the red laser connected so that it emits a blue laser, and then we can use the connector to hook it up over there to the blue switch. What the heck? Hello? I see X iron over there. Oh, come on. I wanted... Yeah, okay. So we connect this with this. So that emits a blue one. Yeah, that's what we want to do. There we go. And now we use our connector here. Connect it to the inverter. And put a switch over here. Because now we can cross streams because it's higher up. Ta-da! It was an easy area. That's everything done, right? Well, we found the lab, we found both of the lost puzzles, did all the 8 puzzles. I mean, there's still the Golden Gate puzzle, obviously, but we cannot do those, as far as I know yet. Pretty sure... Why is there a question mark still on the map? Let's figure out what the question mark is. It might be the Golden Gate puzzle, though, because I'm pretty sure we haven't been there. The Golden Gate puzzle. I know, that's the palm reader that we haven't used yet. Founding 3. From Hypatia's Journals, Volume 1, The Founding of New Jerusalem, Day 42. We broke ground on the first of the permanent structures today, a large hall that will eventually be converted into a performance and exhibition space. My idea! Although for now we'll use it as a workshop. It's strange, this place. There's a lot of open space, and I didn't think that I would find it so unusual. But I suppose we all spent more time at the dam than was originally planned, and now it's difficult to get used to not having that low ceiling over our heads. It's probably just me. Byron loves being outside and is always volunteering for scavenging missions. Lifthrus usually tags along, although he seems more fascinated with observing nature and various weird creatures. At night I sometimes catch myself standing by the door. Not because I have guard duty, just watching the stars. It's oddly comforting to think that they've always been there, that they've watched their ancestors standing where I now stand. Message fragment from Miranda to SX, probably, right? S5358. You still didn't know what it stands for. Maybe it's the founder SX. We finished setting up the external side at the lake. The area is so stunning we forgot about the experiment for a while and went for a long walk. The ways in which all the different aspects of nature interact with each other are endlessly fascinating to me. And the sheer variety of living things, even on a simple green meadow. Sadly, we then stumbled onto the carcass of a deer that had been torn apart by wolves. It must have suffered enormously, and thinking about that made me feel truly terrible. There is so much pain in nature. I don't think I usually do, right? Suffer that much, because, you know, like usually predators kill their prey very quickly and very efficiently. It's not like they would, I mean, I think so, right? Most predators usually kill their prey before they eat it. Because, you know, like, it makes it not struggle anymore, which makes it easier to eat it. So like with parasites and insects and stuff that don't always do that, right? Well, that rarely do that. Ecosystems engineers. Cutting down swathes of trees for the building projects, thoughtlessly causing radical changes to large environments and forcing local species to adapt to their artificial habitats. These are the traits of a species of intelligent, industrious, and extremely impactful ecosystem engineers. Humans? No, I'm talking about beavers. Ooh. Like us, beavers transform their environments via building, and their actions have real consequences, creating vast wetlands that some species thrive in while others die. Human activity is very similar. We too are ecosystem engineers, and we too benefit from some species while harming others. Everything about this is completely natural, including the damage to other species. After all, that's what competition and evolution is all about. Those species that adapt to the ecosystems we create will, over the coming millennia, become the core of a new biodiversity, and so evolution runs its course. If we don't like the result, if we think some species should be preserved despite being outcompeted, well, that's anything but natural. It is, however, very human. Miranda, it's fascinating how so much of what we do is common in animals, but furthered enormously by our intelligence and our ability to remember. You think the animals could not remember? I disagree with that. Through us, the universe strives to a greater level of complexity. Fail-to-load profile. But does the universe have the capacity to strive for anything? We must be careful to avoid projecting human values onto the cosmos. That is true. Oh yes. Alright, any other question marks? Doesn't seem like that. On immediate glance. Alright, let's head over to the gate and see what this Minesweeper mine megastructure is all about. I'm gonna assume there's gonna be another laser pointed at the pyramid megastructure, right? Oh yeah, right. The drumming noise. I almost forgot. I mean, doesn't this make it even easier? And then, like, when you can't even... Well, okay, whatever. I really prefer the ones in the German puzzles in... Talos Principle 1. I mean, they weren't really... I mean, it was mostly trial and error there anyways, right? But these are just... I don't know, like, just give me a bridge. I don't know. Not a fan of those. I mean, maybe they're gonna get more challenging, I don't know. What are we gonna see? The Sphinx again. Interesting. We haven't had Prometheus yet.
When Daedalus was imprisoned in the very labyrinth he had created, his only solace was his son, Icarus. To escape their plight, he fashioned wings of feathers and wax. He warned his son to fly neither too high nor too low. But his son, enraptured by the freedom of flight, flew too close to the sun.
And the wax melted and he fell down, right?
His wings melted, and he fell to his death. What was the sun's error?
Hubris. The flame of the sun belongs to the gods. Disobedience. Impatience. Idiocy. Lawlessness or carelessness. I would say impatience. Idiocy also. The wings were made from wax. I mean, come on. I would say it's mostly impatience, right? If he wanted to soar so high, he should have built better wings. And it wasn't he who built them, it was his father, but his father warned him. He was like, wow, I would really like to fly higher, so let's build better wings. He was just impatient. Also reckless. It's kind of funny that there's no recklessness here. I would say impatience. If he wanted to soar so high, he should have built better wings.
What matters the substance of his wings, if the sky was not meant for him?
That is not for you to decide.
After the death of his son, Daedalus withdrew in sorrow to a foreign land. King Minos came looking for the craftsman to exact his revenge. The answer to a riddle revealed where Daedalus dwelled. But for Minos, that answer was his ruin. Consider King Minos, burned in his bath, as you seek your own answer.
Burned in his bath? Oh, but Midas just... I mean... I'm not even sure why he imprisoned Daedalus in the own labyrinth. And then even went after him.
The megastructure. It's opening.
3 receivers, 3 towers, 3 beams, as we suspected. I think this is an invitation.
Doesn't look that inviting to me.
If you consider the size of the entire structure, then that opening must be big enough to drive a building through.
Or the VTOL.
You want us to go in there, into the creepy triangular maw of death?
Yes.
Maw of death? I think it looks charming. To quote 1K, come on, Al, live a little.
Yeah,
Byron's
exactly.
right. We're here to explore, and this is a mystery worth investigating. This technology could change everything.
Oh, all right. I'm not winning this, am I?
Nope, you're not.
Nope. Let's meet up with the VTOL, everybody. We're going in.
Yeah, so you couldn't really see any of the stream displayed to the right side, unfortunately, because, yeah, as I said, unfortunately the game and my screen doesn't give me the option to play this in 2560 times 1440. So I'm playing it at the native resolution, which is...
I finished my analysis of the particle clouds. At first I thought they might be some kind of nanotechnology, but I was wrong. It's a lot worse than that. What we're looking at is a completely unknown type and state of matter.
Oh, great.
Completely inexplicable within our understanding of
Nice.
physics.
We love that.
Created and manipulated by someone.
Someone, yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Fascinating.
Yeah, native resolution of my screen is 3450 times 1440. Which unfortunately makes being like the... Because I can only release video, well, like, if I would release a video in my native resolution, then you would have bars, black bars on the top and at the bottom, which is stupid, right? So for YouTube, I'm using 2560 times 1440, which means, like, unfortunately, the borders of the screen are cropped off. But the game doesn't give me any option to not have any interface there or anything, unfortunately. That's the first game that this actually was the case. I can also not play it in displayed mode, in windowed mode, because in windowed mode, it still doesn't give me the option to have the correct resolution here. The only other one would be 1920 times 1080, but that's stupid for other reasons, mostly because of the how YouTube handles codecs, right? And then the game would look a lot worse in the video, so unfortunately, we just have to, as it seems, deal with having the borders chopped off for you, sorry. Alright, at least, I was at least partially right already that we are gonna take flight again, right?
Get on board. We haven't got all day.
See if we do only fly in there or also get back to the city afterwards.
Jakub, take us in.
Aye, aye, sir.
Have any of you ever read an ancient writer called Ian Banks?
Nope.
I guess not. He postulated the concept of the outside context problem. That's when a society encounters something so advanced,
Yeah, he knows the context about it.
that they simply could not have conceived of it. That's what this is.
Yeah, like
This
when...
whole place is one giant outside context problem. And we're headed right into it.
Isn't that fun?
I think I can set down over there. Should I?
Please do.
Ooh, I love it.
I can't wait to get a closer look.
Maybe it's a spaceship, just like in Stargate. Although actually in Stargate I think the pyramids are landing pads for spaceships, right?
Setting down.
Okay, everyone. We need to explore as much as we can, separately if need be, but stay in touch. Record anything interesting you find, and pay special attention to any clues as to who built this place and why.
The schematics we found in that lab were extremely incomplete. So if you can find any more of those, that would be great.
I think
Nobody wants to talk to me.
VTOL, just in case.
I volunteer you. See you later, Al.
Oh no, Al. Oh, but he doesn't remain here. Yeah, so the out of context problem, I mean, it's basically the same you can imagine this like with nuclear technology, for example. We know about about radiation, right, and how it hurts the body, the human body. But imagine, like, I don't know, nuclear war happens, everything's destroyed. We have in 10,000 years, 100,000 years from now, you know, like the next species that is gonna develop into humanoid beings or whatever, I don't know. And they found the ruins of our civilization, although 100,000 years is a pretty much too late. We're probably not gonna have any remains of our civilization. But let's just imagine in 10,000 years from now, like people find a nuclear plant. No, not actually a nuclear plant, but a what are they called? But a storage facility for our nuclear waste, you know, like that we put somewhere in the ground finally after we did it, right? And they see all the science, like the nuclear science, and they're like, oh, maybe those, but they don't understand it, you know, like because for some reason, I don't know, technology made step backwards and we're back on the level of, I don't know, the Greek or whatever, the Egyptians. And they're like, oh, these symbols that they have there, that's for sure like a symbol of their god, right? It might be a symbol of worship, and then they go in, and they're all gonna die at some point, or they're all gonna get sick, and they're like gonna be, oh, it's a curse of the god that because we invaded the structure, right, the burial grounds or whatever it is. But in fact, it was just a waste facility, right, where you put the things that we knew were dangerous to people, and yeah, that's an out of context problem. So this could be the exact same here. Like maybe this whole structure is a huge burial ground for toxic waste. Nuclear, toxic waste, whatever. And that's why it's secure that much, because nobody should enter it, right? And we're just like, yay, let's head in and see what we find here. Might be. And it looks like the Electrope in Final Fantasy XIV. It's kind of funny. Funny because it's also a, you know, like advanced technology that is outside of the scope of the civilization the player character starts in, right? Ooh. Hello. I have to say, Talos Principle 2 is really different to Talos Principle 1, I feel. Like with storytelling, it takes so many different paths. Oh, there's a statue of the Sphinx. Like at Talos Principle 1 you had the tower, right? It was kind of interesting to explore, but it was all very puzzle focused, and here you have so much storytelling going on, like direct storytelling, not just by lore snippets that you find lying around. But it's they basically added an actual story on top of the lore that is still scattered around, right? Which is an interesting choice, and probably why the game is so big in terms of gigabytes of space. Melville. Can I also press this? Melville? Are you okay? Huh. Oh, Byron, hi.
Isn't this an incredible space? Look at it all,
It is beautiful, yeah. I'm not sure I see it, yeah, because it's to the left of me. But yeah, I do agree, it's very beautiful. But it also looks pretty damaged.
Excellent. I find that a lot of people these days can't see the beauty in things created by humans.
I mean, imagine, you know, like if you enter a...
They can look at an ant colony or a coral reef and be impressed, but if it was made
a nuclear
by
waste
humans,
facility.
they just don't see it.
And they also look like this.
It's good to be humble as an individual, but we have to be careful not to lose track of our accomplishments as a species.
Mm-hmm.
If we're impressed by the complex patterns produced by animals, then this should be breathtaking.
I mean, yeah. I find it funny. Well, not funny. It's probably very deliberate that, you know, like that they chose the structure of a pyramid for this. Because for a very long time, or I think it's still going on, right? That historians are actually like, how did the Egyptians actually build pyramids? They shouldn't be able to do that with the technology they had at hand back at that time, right? So basically the pyramids are like, really, did we build this? Were we able to do this? And it's basically the same kind of fascination here with this megastructure, right? So they probably very deliberately chose the resemblance of a pyramid here. Even though I'm pretty sure our, you know, like pyramids in Egypt, in Egypt don't look like this in the inside. I've never been there. Maybe I should go at some point. I would love to. I know that's the problem with like big tourist spots, right? They're big tourist spots. Lots of people. And I died like spots with lots of people. Yeah, good. What do you make of this?
Broken.
Seems like an elevator. Betcha as soon as I step onto it, it's not gonna be broken anymore. Oh no, wait, there's a door. Oh, probably gonna activate it somewhere behind that door, right? I can. Oh, it's. Oh, there's a glass door in front of it. I see. Didn't realize it at first. Speaking of doors, what's behind this one? Also, where is Al? Don't we have someone else with us? We've seen Melville, Byron, and Yakut. We have Alcatraz with us. Are we only 5? I think so, yeah. Where is Al? Imagine an ant trying to make sense of a nuclear power plant. Yeah, exactly. An armadillo trying to explain disco music. You get my drift. These particle clouds contradict every known law of physics. What's really shocking here isn't that we are seeing a new and powerful technology. It's what that this implies about our grasp of physics. A lot of what we thought we knew must be wrong or incomplete on some fundamental level. A humbling realization. I don't like it. I love this. You know, like imagine things proving that some of our understandings of physics are so wrong, and suddenly be like, wow, the universe is working so much differently than we thought it would.
Hold on a second, one.
Even though all we know is still true,
I think
obviously.
I can find an override for that door.
Maybe after that, you can help me with this elevator?
Yeah.
One problem at a time.
Oh, Melville. Oh, Melville's still talking. Okay.
What's going on with these fast structures? Okay, door should be opening.
Thank you. It worked.
About the elevator.
Actually, the elevator's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No idea where I am.
Okay.
It's working.
Don't go too far. Try to circle back.
On it.
Well, I guess it worked. Teleported him somewhere. Like, we could be staring right into a radioactive... Well, I guess we would realize that, right? With our technology. But it could be something similar as radiation coming out from this and just, you know, like, making us sick. Then again, pretty sure robots can't get sick, so... Probably not an issue V2s would be bothered by. It's very intriguing that there's so many layers to this. And like that the whole structure inside is so layered. Instead of being just one massive structure. The heck was that? That was super creepy. Oh. Isn't that Yakut? Or is that L? Over here! Look over here! Guess that's where the elevator leads then. Well, get back to the elevator then. Wait, what?
Hey, 1K, can we talk for a second? That whole thing with the elevator just gave me the creeps.
Is that where I came from? I don't
When we
think
first
so, right?
arrived here, I was really excited. It's such a huge place. The technology is so advanced. If we figure out what it all means, we could really change the future of New Jerusalem. The mayor says we have to avoid repeating the mistakes our ancestors made, to stay humble, to not reach too far. And that sounds very abstract, but I've seen the ancient cities. I've seen how much they built, how much they grew, how far they fell. So I've been thinking, what if all this sets us on the same path? What if this is too much power for anyone to control?
You know, I don't think that our inert curiosity that makes us strive for more advanced and advanced technology. I don't think striving for more advanced technology or like to to increase the quality of our life is what will eventually make us spoil or fail as a species or as a society. It's more like the abuse of all of these advances and our inability to, you know, like be in alignment with the resources that we use for that, like not toxic waste, radiation, nuclear waste and stuff like that, and destroying our environment. And I don't think, you know, like, I mean, but there's also the opposite side, right? We have developed technology that would help us get back in touch with our environment. It's just that, you know, like, there's people who don't like that and who, you know, like, condemn clean electric power sources and want people to use oil and gas again because money is. I don't think striving for technology itself is dangerous. It's like just the gluttony of not getting enough of power, basically. Money and power. That will make us fall. Or is making us fall. So I don't think... But then again, of course, you know, like, you could argue with... Yeah, but if you push forward, there's always gonna be people who will abuse those technical advances and stuff, right? So by just not exploring this facility, we would delay that happening, right? Because just because we don't do it doesn't mean that anybody else won't be doing it. Like, in 200 years, there could be a new mayor who is like, yeah, we need to go push forward, get new technology, and then they're gonna do it anyways, right? I feel like it's a better idea to have people pioneering this, exploring this, who have a sense of responsibility with what they're finding, instead of leaving it open to anyone else who might come in the future, right? Who might even go against laws that the society set up. It's prohibited going here and stuff like that. I don't know. It's a really difficult question. But I don't think just being here and exploring this and striving to understand this technology is the wrong thing to do. It's how what we do with that knowledge as a society in the future, right? That is the more important part. And so far I feel like the V2 humans might not have the same issues as the V1 humans with, you know, like, being greedy, being power hungry and stuff like that. But since they are based on us, that might still develop, right? That's probably why they didn't want to have more than 1,000 of them. Because the more you have, the higher the probability of there being a rotten apple. I don't think what went wrong with our ancestor was too much power. Well, that was exactly what went wrong. I mean, it's them wanting more. That's the issue. And again, it doesn't give me the options to choose from that I would like to. I mean, I'm probably gonna go with... I think it's more complex than that. Power isn't necessarily good or bad. Yeah, I'm going with that. The other options are, you're right, this place could be dangerous, but we need to understand it. I don't think we need to understand it, I just think it like it might be. I do think it's dangerous though, yes. I don't think what went wrong with our ancestor was too much power. No, I do think that's the point. It's like they wanted too much power. Not that they had too much power, but that they wanted more. I think your original impulse was correct and abused their power, obviously. I think your original impulse was correct. New Jerusalem needs this technology. I don't know. It's gonna help for sure, yeah, but we didn't have to. I mean, we could have remained on the technological level of the Stone Age. It would still be existing, most likely. It's not a necessity, but it would make some things easier, probably. Honestly, I think it's too early to tell. I mean, when would it be the right time to tell then? I mean, his premise is wrong. He's assuming history can only develop in one way. Yeah, I think it's more complex than that. Power isn't necessarily good or bad, is what.
So what do you think it was?
Mirrors my
ancestors destroy themselves.
My thoughts, the best. It was not a lack of power, no. They weren't careful about the side effects of their growth, otherwise the virus would never have been released. That is a good answer. It was just bad luck. No, it was not. They got their priorities wrong. If they had properly invested in medicine before the virus, they would have survived. No, not really. Because, you know, like, viruses adapt. There's no point in... not point. It's not possible to always be prepared for any new illness that might be coming up. Most of them wanted to do things differently, but their political systems wouldn't let them. That's the point? Okay, either the political systems or they weren't careful about the side effects of their growth. I think that's probably more the thing, right? I mean, essentially what we have now, climate change and overpopulation, and we just don't care enough as a whole. Like, I can understand that, you know, like the areas in the world that still have the biggest growth going on, because, you know, like in much of the Western world, for example, you know, like birth rates are declining, have been declining for a long time, right? But in others, that's absolutely not the case, and that's because usually, you know, like those areas, they have different problems. Like, you're not thinking about the rest of the world when you have nothing to eat, right? Or fewer to eat, or if you have, you know, like if you live in constant fear of just some radical extremists, you know, like raiding your village and killing everybody. You're not gonna be like, oh yeah, I should really think about only having one child, because if I have too many, it might exceed the resources that our planet could produce for us, and we might not be able to sustain ourselves as a species. That's not what you think about when you have those issues, right? And also, often, I mean, as long as you don't have a high level of education, a high average level of education in all areas of the world, you also just cannot grasp what the real effects of us actually is. You know, like, it just... There's villages, places in the world who probably have never been, where people live who have probably never been to a big city or anything, right? Like, they don't even really know what's going on outside of the world. They're gonna be like, what? America has a new president and he's a character? Why would I care about that? I need to go to the store and buy eggs for $12 or 12, whatever. Why would I care about whatever happens on the other side of the planet, right? Alright, so they weren't careful about the side effects of their growth. I can understand, as I said. The problem is that it's not only those areas where it's understandable that, you know, like, people don't really care or can't really care. Also because of the political systems and stuff. Like, you know, like, isn't China like the biggest? Yeah, China is, I think, has been for a long time like the biggest source of atmospherical CO2, for example, right? And they still continue to do so. But there's also not really any other choice, right? Because, you know, like, their political system just... I'm not sure if they're not teaching them about... But also, I'm doing them wrong here, because China, I think, also has... I mean, they have made huge advances in electric mobility and stuff like that, right? So it's not like they would not be trying to. Probably a bad example here, actually. But, you know, like, if you're... Maybe America is the better. Maybe the USA is a better example here, because, you know, like, if your government doesn't want to buy electric cars is maybe not the best here. But if your government doesn't want you to, you know, like, produce more sustainable green energy, then you're not gonna do. So yeah, they weren't careful about the side effects of the growth, otherwise the virus would never have been released. I'm not sure if I agree with the second part of this, but I agree with the first part.
But that's exactly what the mayor thinks. Their obsession with growth damaged the planet, and that's what killed them.
Yeah, but it was uncontrolled growth. That's the problem, you know, like, V1 humans are not aware of the limits. But 1,000 V2 humans is for sure not the sustainable limit, is what I'm saying. There were ways of controlling those side effects. They failed to use them, but that doesn't mean we have to. Not growth itself, that's the problem, it's how you grow. It didn't kill them, they're still here in us, because Alexander Drennan believed in civilization and technology. Could have the difference. I would say the second or third option. I mean, we do know ways of controlling side effects right now, right? Well, a virus is really a difficult thing. I feel like second and third option are kind of the same. With the second, well, the one to the right, just being a little more explicit. But I feel like this option to the right is more like, but that doesn't mean we have to. It's kind of like... This is implying to doing the same, but just, you know, like basically doing the same as we do right now, like uncontrollable growth, but just, you know, like look at the CO2 levels or whatever. Don't produce too much CO2 or whatever. But then you're always gonna have people who are like, fuck that, fuck environment, let's just build more combustion cars, whatever, right? Well, I think this one implies more that you would find a different way of growing instead of just repeating the same thing but trying to do it better. Find a different way, you know, like steady slow growth, for example, that is in tune with the environment from the beginning, instead of trying to deal with the consequences and the symptoms. You know, like be aware of consequences from the beginning and change your decisions on that, I think is what... Even though they sound the same, those two options, I think the first one gives you more space in how you...
You're right. Sometimes
advance.
I just get too pessimistic. We do have choices to make.
Yeah.
That was the whole point of the simulation.
Yeah.
Thanks for talking to me, 1K.
Sure.
I know we're in the middle of something, but I kind of needed that.
Also now this episode is getting increasingly long. That is not where... Is that where it came from? I'm so confused. Like when I ran past back here, I thought like, wait, did the area change behind me? No, it's just that I came from this side, right? Okay, I came from this side. Okay, I was just like, wait, did they just pull a Misty Woods on us? That's like, oh, it just changes behind you? But nope, okay. It was just a continuation of the path, okay. Yeah, if you loop around this side, you're gonna get back to the elevator at some point. Jesus. Hello. Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be anti-G technology here as well, right? Not just immortality in the end. There's a portal over there. And up there.
Looks like another set of puzzles.
Oh,
Same
great.
pattern, 1 gate, 3 receivers. Like some sort of fractal symmetry.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're gonna have to... Oh, interesting. Yeah, so we're connecting the eastern path now, right? What's that sound? Sounds like a drone. Really confuses me. Well, okay. Weird sounds.
I keep getting locked out of parts of the system. I think I've tracked down some more schematics, though. Let's see. This might do something.
Dang.
Or not.
There we go. Okay, so I was thinking like that we had to get out again and, you know, like connect the lasers from a different area. But no, the lasers are right here. Okay, but there are puzzles here, so I think we're gonna... I mean, I would really love to keep exploring in here. But there's even more puzzles here, so I think we're gonna call this area, this episode here. It's already gonna be pretty long anyway. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Very, very intrigued to continue this next time. Thank you so much, and until then, take care. Bye bye.